Yo, my peoples, what's up? Welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Jason here, and today I have a playthrough for My Little Everdell. L-I-L is a spelling in case you are looking for it online. The short form of little. This is My Little Everdell, which is the distilled form of the Everdell base game from designer James Wilson and Starling Games Tabletop Tycoon, in which you are playing woodland creatures. You see the adorable factor that is maintained from the base game. These are workers. You'll be placing these workers around the forest, gathering resources, ultimately building out your city, and trying to score along these beautiful parade routes. Fans of the original Everdell will very much recognize the core concept of this game, as well as the aesthetic, although this one serves as an introduction to the base game or to play with your family and loved ones. And I am very happy to bring you this solo playthrough, but before all that, let me tell you about the One Stop Co-op Shop. We have our YouTube channel and our YouTube stream channel. Go ahead and like those videos if you like what we do, and subscribe to both of those channels. We have our podcast, which is our weekly discussion about games, interviews with designers, total coverage of the solo and cooperative space. We also have our Discord, which is an amazing community, free to join if you want to join our Discord where we discuss all your favorite solo and cooperative games. The link is in the show notes. If you want to contribute to our Patreon, we would greatly appreciate that as well. The link for that is in the show notes. That helps us keep the games on the table and the tech upgraded. In exchange, you get exclusive access to channels in the Discord as well as occasional videos. But the community itself is free to join if you would like to share in our love of solo and cooperative games. We are the One Stop Co-op Shop, your one stop for solo and cooperative gaming goodness. So let's get into an overview of My Little Everdell. So the main goal is points, as always. They come from the cards and also very principally from the parade ground. You want to be the first to meet these conditions along the way. Play proceeds over the space of 4 rounds. So you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And as you can see, each round is going to have a production phase. So if you know the original Everdell, it's already simpler. Because in Everdell, sometimes you have a production phase, sometimes you get an extra worker. They smooth all that out. You start with 3 and you end with 3. And you also have a production phase every single round. So at the beginning of the round, you would get that production. Normally, you wouldn't start with anything, but if it's a really friendly game or you want to give somebody a leg up, then you have the captain and the fort. Isn't that cute? And this would produce a coin and a random good, or a good of your choice, actually. Also, for the setup for each round, you would reset this group of special spaces in the base game. These were cards. This time, you're going to roll some exciting dice, and then you put the dice down, and that becomes a advanced spot where you can get additional resources. So you see this face, one of each different resource, and then 2 of any, etc. These spots are exclusive. You see the closed circle. If a worker goes there, then they would get that, and then that'll be closed for the rest of the round. Or a worker can go over to any one of these 3 spots over there, get 1, and that's open for other players. Once you have placed your worker, then as a part of that turn, you would acquire a card. So that, again, is much simplified from the original game. The original game, you would play or draft a card either from your hand or the tableau. Here, that's all part of the same action, and you don't have a personal hand of cards. It all comes from the central area. So then let's say I had my resin that I'm going to spend, and I'm going to acquire a farm. The groups are familiar from the last game. So if you don't know the last game, this green is a production. You get whatever it is when you acquire it, and then at the beginning of every season, you'll be able to get another one. And then these would be one shot. You get that as soon as you get it, nothing else happens. These are scoring, and then the rest of the cards act in a very similar way to the base game. Another thing to note is that the cards have the construction and the critter markers, so that is the same. However, so this is a big thing in terms of the draw of Everdell. Oftentimes, you would build a construction, and then it would allow you to acquire the linked critter for free. That is done away with as well. All you basically are looking for is, do you have the resources to pay? And then, as the final part of your turn, you would check to see if you fulfill any of these scoring conditions. So in the base game, that was a separate placement of your worker. Here, you just get it. So you would have 5 constructions, 5 critters, 1 of each, kind of a set, or 3 of one particular type. You would get the next one. The next person would get the one further down. I have a solo game set up, so it goes 6 to 3, but in a multiplayer game, we go 6, 5, 4, and then 3, but they work generally the same no matter what player count you're on. And that's it. 12 rounds and you're out. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game is the winner. In the solo mode, you are going to play against either Princess Periwinkle or Prince Pumpernickel. So it depends on where they place their workers in order to get in your way. That's the main difference. For the most part, they exist just to get in your way and deny you stuff. So then Princess Periwinkle will limit your access to cards. It will take a card as its turn and then place its worker not on the board, but in the tableau and prevent refilling, so limiting your options there. Prince Pumpernickel will get in your way on the board, so it will prioritize the leftmost die of the advanced spaces and then take a card from there. So they almost play exactly the same. No real difference between the two except for what gets in the way. So I'm just going to play against Pumpernickel and see how I do. All right, so now I'm ready to begin this quick game of my little Everdell solo. So like in the basic game, you're going to want to look for those combos. The combos are simple here, but they still exist. So that's pretty cool. And I noticed that I have the jail here. The blue cards tend to be a good basis for your combo strategy. It costs that to acquire, and it says after you play a critter, get a wild resource. So I have lots of critters out there, so I think I'm just going to go for that jail first and set myself up that way. So then I'm going to get myself going here and use this 2 wild resource. No one else can use this space. I'm going to get a resin and a wood. I will immediately spend those 2 resources to acquire the jail and begin my critter empire. Although, it makes me sad that this is the jail. It's such a good card though, so I don't mind. And then the new card that I get is a hideout. Wow, that's expensive. Don't know if I'm going to get you anytime soon. Prince Pumpernickel will block the leftmost die space, which is unfortunate for me because berries are the main way in which to get critters. I'm going to hope and pray that the bot does not roll a 7 because that would deny me the one card that I have access to. This round, they roll a 5. Oh, I like the hero. One-time use, move one of your friends and activate the new location. Womp womp. And let's see, a glider. Ooh, okay, and a production thing. That's nice to get early too. Let's go ahead and go over here. That gets me a wild resource, which is going to be a berry as well as a precious point. Going to spend that berry immediately and pivot to get the glider. Very nice. Let me go ahead and put my glider down. I'm going to keep the constructions and the critters separate. I get a resin from placing it. And also, when I play a critter, get a random resource. I feel really good about this game immediately. The next card is another critter, a conductor. After you play a construction, get money. We know exactly what Periwinkle wants to do right there. And the card that it takes is number 2, the sweep. Copy one of your production buildings. Oh, well. And this might be one that I want. The farmer. Ooh, there's always a farmer in an Everdell game. That will get me 1 berry. I want that farmer. Give it to me. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to get one of the berries, and I'm going to spend it immediately to pick up that farmer. That gets me a berry immediately and another berry from the jail. Ooh, baby. And then the new card is, oh, whoa! Queenie, baby. +1 for each parade. You should be able to get all 4 parades. Either the 6 or the 3. I'm going to try to get as many 6s as possible, but getting the 3 and comboing with the green would be a really good idea. So it doesn't matter where it places its last worker, but it does matter what card it takes. It's going to take the queen! Oh no! That's what I get for talking junk. And this is really important to note in terms of the parades. So it is 3 out of 5 progress towards the mouse. And also it has symbol diversity. It needs a blue and a red in order to get that parade as well. So that affects my strat. If I am going for something, but I want to try to head off the bot at the pass, or if I want to just let the bot have something so I can go for something else, that's actually a little bit of a neat decision space for a simple game like this. I like it. On to round 2. All right, on to round 2. I've moved the moon marker over to the second round. I re-rolled for a new set of advanced spaces. I also got some production going. I got a resin and a berry, so I'm sitting pretty good with resources there. So I know it is going to go on the leftmost advanced space, and this is about as good as it gets. So let me just go ahead and occupy that right there. Get 2 wild resources, which is going to be a berry and a wood. So now I have an interesting decision over here. So I was going to get this. This would get me the 3 parade, 3 production buildings. But this card right here, if the bot got that, it would progress towards multiple goals. So Really hard to decide. Ultimately, there's only one production card out there. I'm not sure when the next production card is going to come. So I'm going to just trust in fate. Going to spend my 2 berries and acquire the doctor. That will get me any resource and also another resource from the jail when I acquire it. And that's going to be 2 berries back because I'm playing critters, baby. And we got a racetrack. Somehow the racetrack generates resin. That's fine. And hey, guess what, everybody? I just noticed something. This does not score if I get 3 production buildings. The base game had the same wrinkle, so I went for something. Too bad. That is what playing the game is all about. Learning. And so the worker will occupy the next leftmost die and acquire a card. No 8, no 8, no 8. Oh, that looked like an 8 for a minute. That is a 6. That is another purple. That's also not good. It is going for critters. This is 1 point for each construction. That I got a little bit lucky over there. And the new card is a chip. Ooh, that might combo well with what I got going on. It is very tempting to take the 2 wood. Wood is the only resource that I'm not taking. So let me go ahead and take those 2 wood right there. I'm going to spend 2 berries, get 1 back to get the other card that I was looking at, the Toy Maker. That gives me 4 mice. So the bot gets a 5th mice. It's going to ninja the parade, but I'm hopeful that they don't. The odds of that are very, very good. The bot's going to go right there, and it will likely get the critter thing before me. It nails the critter thing, and it nails a really lucrative one, the juggler. I was looking at that one next. After you get a parade, get 2 coins. It doesn't get the benefit down here. It just scores the points. So thank goodness I don't have to track all that or account for all that extra scoring. But the bot does get 5 critters ahead of me, which is what I was working towards. So even though it feels like I can do whatever I want, I have a lot of resources, the bot can also do whatever it wants. And it's just a question of who can do whatever they want better. Next card in the tableau is another production building. Useless. So for my final turn, I don't want anything to do with those basic spaces. Let's go ahead to this advanced space. In the multiplayer game of the base game, anyone could go here. In the My Little version, only you go here. Everything is simpler. I get 2 wood. And I immediately spend that 2 wood and 1 resin from my supply to get the hideout worth 3 points and gets me a point when I land there. So shifting strat a little bit, but the bot forced my hand. Don't regret it. And the replacement is a berry bear. Oh my god, that is so cute, a berry bear. Oh, I want it. Last placement of the round. The bot doesn't need to place because it doesn't matter. And if I roll a 4, I'll be very upset. No, it rolls a Wanderer, which doesn't combo with anything. So go ahead and take that Wanderer. And I replace it with the bank. So here is the scene after 2 rounds. We've acquired cards every single round. The bot can do that automatically. They are 1 away, a red card away from their set. And a couple of cards away from getting their 3 pointers. So the bot is really putting pressure on me to get things done. So here, I am working on this set right here. I'm probably going to go for that berry bear next turn. That's so cute. And try to get some points off the bot by getting other things. All right, so round 3, I have moved the moon token and re-rolled these dice. I also got some increased production. I got plenty of resources and reorganized my cards a little bit to show what I have got going. I'm working on a couple of things right now. So I'm going to try to get that 5th mouse. I'm going to try to get that 3rd building over here and complete my set. Have a lot to think about. Also, there is a conversion. All these resources will not go to waste. You can spend 2 resources for 1 point. So it's not bad to have a whole bunch of stuff lying around. Go right there first. Look at that. 3 resources in 1. No brainer. And now I have a very interesting decision. I was looking at that berry bear. It would be good to deny the bot that, but I also need this air balloon. It's the only 1-shot Wanderer card. If the bot takes that, that sets me back pretty significantly. I'm going to roll the dice and go with the berry bear because it's cute and see what happens. Spent my 2 berries. That goes ahead and place that right there, which gets me my 5 critters and 3 red buildings. So that's a shame. I get the worst one of these, but at least I get the better one of those. I guess you can't do everything. There's probably a way to do everything against the bot, this simple bot, but I got a little bit unlucky with the run on critters that the bot made. And the next card, oh, come on. I just tried to deny you a red card. Bot is going to take over this berry space, but I don't care because I got the berry bear. Don't care. Berry bear, care bear. Got it. Love it. 4. No! I tried, people. I did try. That gets it its full set, which means that it fulfills this condition and gets the better scoring token there. Don't like that at all. It only has 1 construction, so I should be able to get the construction one, but I do need to watch out for that one. That's the last good scoring tile. Let's go ahead and get a new card, Map Maker. I think that is the same card that it took. Not interested in you. I'll place that token here. I'm going to get 2 wood. I'm going to spend that 2 wood immediately on this card that I was looking at, the air balloon. Move one of your friends and activate the new location. That friend is going to be right here. And that is going to be right there. Let's go ahead and grab a wild resource and a point. I think because the bot has advantage on me on parades, let me try to prioritize things that get me points off cards. The wild resource will be wood, and also this is a bit of a retcon, but I wanted to make sure I got that in. When I acquired the berry bear, the jail is still operative, so I had gotten a resin for that. And 1 point. Next card is pay 1 and get 2. Ooh, that wasn't a production building. And notice that I haven't gotten my purple buildings going. So that is another huge way to spend your resources and get points. The bot ninja'd all the early purple buildings. So, man, don't like this thing. The bot is going to go to that vacated spot with 2 wood. Don't care about that. All right, bot, do not start your run of construction buildings. Please, you started your run of construction buildings. Come on! The next building is a zip line. Ho, 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 ho. And so this one's a little bit of a hate draft right here. It doesn't quite combo with what I going on, but I'm going to go here, get 2 wood. I'm going to spend a 3rd wood from my reserve, and I'm going to get this zip line. I only have 1 wanderer, but it would score off of this there 3, so I don't want it to have that. And it goes right there. I have my set of 5. Which gets me this last token, but you ninja'd the better one. Bot. And the next card, a postal pigeon. I recognize you from the base game. Pay 1 to get 2. You look familiar. Doesn't matter where the bot places its last worker, so it's just going to go ahead and roll and acquire this map maker. The important part is that this is not a construction. The bot is finally not putting pressure on me to do something. Thank you for the break. On to the final round, round 4. All right, 4th and final round. I've moved the moon marker over to the final space. I re-rolled these die over here. And the new card that came out, I already know what I want, which is 2 resin. The card that immediately replaces that, which is the maze. At this point, I'm just going to go for cards that get me some straight up points. I get 1 point. There's my 1 point, bringing me to 3 total. Let's see what bot comes out. The Evertree, it's 7 points. It's the most expensive building, and I can afford it if the bot doesn't take it. Let's go ahead and put that butterfly right there. Matters not. Here's what matters. This is probably the game. If they get that Evertree, man, I am not going to be happy. Do not roll a 4. Do not roll a 4. Oh, but it took my treasure hunter. That was the one that I was looking at as well, because it is points. But I'm perfectly happy to avoid that fate. See what comes out next. Come on, another big scoring thing. That's not a big scoring thing. That's the opposite of a big scoring thing. I'm going to go ahead and put my 2nd worker here. I'm going to get a wood and a point. That gets me 4. So I'm going to spend that wood and 2 more, as well as 3 resin. So I looking through the cards, I was looking for that Evertree. And you go through the deck pretty good. So you probably go through a little bit more than half the deck. So the odds are okay to get something like this. Evertree. Thank you. And the new card is a Dragon's Den. Excellent. And I should probably note that I have acquired this tile, which is 5 constructions, 6 points. Bot is going to block my wood. Hey, get your mind out of the gutter. And see what it picks up. It's going to pick up a 3, which is a construction. Does it have enough constructions to get one of those scoring tiles? It does not. It has only 3 because it went so heavy into critters. So it won't get the 5 the tile for 5 constructions. So a little bit of a break there for me. Come on, come on, big money, big money, big money, big money, feast. I'll take it. Let's go ahead and go to my own spot over there, get the 2 wood, spend 1 wood, and spend a resin on the feast. The reason being that this combos with that 1 purple that I have that scores off of the number of wanderer cards that I have. So may as well finish off my game that way. So right now, all the bot is going for is a third of any of these buildings. Lots of production. So basically only, well, these 3, 5, 7, and 8 will score it some extra points. It gets a 3, which at the end of the day is probably one of the worst things that it could have rolled. The bot started with a bang, ended it with a fizzle. I scored 37, the bot scored 29. Literally, if the bot had gotten that Evertree, they likely would have won the game. That's how swingy that Evertree is. Holy moly. Also, unwittingly, I played with the additional challenge mode, where the bot in the normal solo game is only supposed to check for parades at the end of the round. I did it where the opponent achieves parades immediately instead of at the end of the round. That likely mattered, especially for the acquisition of the critter cards, but I'll let the bot have it. That was additional challenge. I wanted to just note that for you. Also, if you want to give the bot some more challenge, then the opponent starts the game with the fort and a captain card, the starter cards, and also gets the first round marker, so they'll be able to go first. So this is not going to be a solo game that is going to, drill down and challenge you. Go to the original Everdell. Also, Everdell Mistwood has a totally revamped solo mode. So if you enjoy Everdell, but you felt like that solo mode was, just kind of there to get in your way, you want some more challenge, that Mistwood bot, I definitely recommend it. Check out the playthrough of that also on the One Stop Co-op Shop. Ultimately, I really enjoyed this one. This is a good time. It's sticking around my collection for the time when my daughter is able to graduate into it. I feel like she would very much vibe with the aesthetic and, the simplicity of it. It's a really cool package. I hope that I've shown it in the best possible light so that you can make a decision that's right for you. This is Jason with the One Stop Co-op Shop, reminding you that we'll see you at the next stop.